In 2007, a local radio station ran a contest. Drink as much water as you can without going into the bathroom. Last person standing wins a Nintendo Wii. During the contest, there was a contestant that drank the most out of everyone there. Jennifer drank nearly 2 gallons over the course of the contest. Hours later, she collapsed at home and died. This was due to water intoxication. Her brain swelled, her organs shut down. Because of this, the DJs that worked at the local radio station were fired. The station was also sued for millions. But guess what? The Wii was never played. Bobby Leach was a thrill seeker. In 1911, he became the second person in history to survive going over Niagara Falls in a barrel. However, after all the things he did in his time, years later, while walking down a street in New Zealand, he slipped on an orange peel. This resulted in his leg being cracked. He fractured his leg so badly, it became infected. Gangrene set in, his leg was amputated. However, he didn't survive. William Bullock, responsible for inventing the rotary printing press. This machine allowed people to mass print newspapers faster than before, but during a demonstration of his beloved machine, the paper roll jammed. Instead of turning off the press or using a tool, he decided to kick the gear into place. However, this was not a good idea. The machine crushed his leg, resulting in him having to go to the hospital. However, with it being 1867, there was no real anesthesia. Doctors tried to amputate his leg. However, during the operation, he died from infection. So the man who revolutionized printing was killed by his own machine. Gary Hoy was a respected corporate lawyer, intelligent, meticulous, and he had a favourite party trick: throwing himself against office windows to prove how unbreakable they were. With him doing this a dozen of times, he was confident enough nothing horrible would happen. During his student tour of his law firm, he took things too far. He sprinted towards the 24th floor window. However, the glass didn't shatter at all. Instead, the entire frame popped out. He flew straight through it and fell to his death. Basil Brown was just a guy at a party. He reached for a cocktail sausage, the kind with a toothpick in it, and threw it back without checking. Because he didn't check that the toothpick was still in the cocktail sausage, it slid down his throat, making him choke. And because of how sharp the toothpick was, it pierced vital tissue in his throat. He collapsed and died from internal bleeding before help arrived. It was supposed to be a friendly joust, a way for King Henry II to celebrate a peace treaty. His opponent? Gabriel de Montgomery, a skilled knight and loyal subject. Henry wore a golden helmet with an open visor. Montgomery's lance shattered on impact, and a wooden splinter, the size of a dagger, pierced the king's eye and entered his brain. He lingered in agony for 10 days before dying. Chrysippus, he believed in self-control, rationality and moral virtue. Then one day, he saw a donkey eating fermented figs. The animal got drunk. Chrysippus found it so hilarious, he laughed and laughed and laughed, until his diaphragm gave out and he suffocated. Taylor, inventor and eternal optimist, believed he could design a wearable parachute suit. Tests with dummies didn't go well, but Franz insisted the tower would give him the height needed. He promised to drop a mannequin instead. However, he climbed to the first platform of the Eiffel Tower and jumped himself. The suit collapsed like a cheap tent in a hurricane. He fell 187 feet and died instantly. His suit never opened.